Om Shri Sai Ram, offering our loving pranams at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Swami. I'm glad to be here with all of you on this holy occasion of the Avatar Declaration Day. I thank the leadership of the Sri Satyasai Seva Organizations Tamil Nadu for inviting me to share my thoughts on this auspicious occasion. I'm sure most of you would have read Satyam Shivam Sundaram Part 1, the biography of Swami's life that documents the formative years of his life as the young Satyanarayan Raju. There are a series of events which occurred prior to him declaring his avatarhood on this very day in the year 1940. Just prior to this particular day, Swami had visited the very beautiful Virupaksha temple in Hampi in Karnataka with his brother Sri Seshamaraju and several others. And there the municipal commissioner of Hampi had presented a golden collar pin to Swami as a token of his appreciation and gratitude. And Swami had put that collar pin on his uniform and had gone to school on this particular day. But on the way to school, he lost the collar pin. And there is a very beautiful poem where Swami narrates, and I would encourage you to read the discourse given on 20th of October 1990, the Golden Jubilee of Avatar Declaration. Today is the 80th year. So in the Golden Jubilee discourse, Swami describes and narrates that poem which he had composed, which symbolized that the loss of the golden collar pin was actually the severance of the worldly ties, and it was the giving up of Maya or the attachment for the several worldly ties. Swami came back on his way from his way to school through his books and told his sister-in-law that I am no longer your Satya. My devotees are waiting for me and my work is calling me. There is a very nice depiction of this entire episode in the Chaitanya Jyoti Museum at Prashanti Nilayam. And Swami's sister-in-law was able to see a halo around Swami that day. She was so overwhelmed that she could not stop him. And he left the house and went to the courtyard of the excise inspector Anjaneyalu, who used to stay a few blocks away in Uravakonda from Swami's brother's home. And there in the courtyard, Swami sat near a rock and several people gathered there. And on that historic occasion, he taught them that very famous bhajan, Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam, Dustara Bhavasagar Taranam. In my talk today, I'm trying to capture two parts of this historic day. One is the day itself. Why is this day important? What is it that the Avatar Declaration Day has to teach with us? Because there is no episode in Swami's life which does not have a spiritual message for us. So what is the spiritual message of the Avatar Declaration Day? Is it that on this particular day, Swami actually realized that he was an avatar? No, definitely not. Does it mean that his avataric work began on that day? No. The avatars resolve on their life's mission and commence it the day they decide that they will be born. Swami had said on several occasions, I chose the parents, I chose the place that I will be born in order to accomplish the avataric task for this lifetime. We see in the Bhagavatam how Lord Mahavishnu says, he tells the Devas that I have willed to be born as the son of Dasharatha and Kaushalya and annihilate the demons who are disrupting the peace and dharmic activities on earth. We also see in the Bhagavatam how Lord Krishna assuages the plea of Mother Earth, who has gone to pray to him that please redeem her of all the negativities in the form of the negative tendencies, the asuras that have increased on earth manifold. And Krishna says, yes, I have vowed to be born as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. And if we have read the Bhagavatam, we see a series of events before the birth of Lord Krishna. So the avataric karya or the avataric tasks begin the day the Paratattva decides to come into this world in human form. Then why is the Avatar Declaration Day unique in Swami's case? I believe it is unique because the day marks a transition from Swami's commitment and belongingness to his worldly family to a transition where he regarded the world itself as his family. While celebrating this day, we too should be able to make this transition, should be able to make this change in priority in our life. How many 14-year-olds can think of contributing to the well being of all humanity? Swami had said at that time that his work is calling him. What was his work? To give Ananda to all mankind. Even at the age of 40, 50, 60, are we able to prioritize the well being of humanity over our selfish requirements? Instead, we pray to the same avatar who dedicated his life for the well being of humanity from the age of 14 for our own petty requirements: daughter's marriage, son's job, grandchildren's education. The list is endless. Our prayers usually surround this. We do contribute to humanity. The Satyasai Seva organization is a brilliant platform, and 4 hours a week is the least that we are expected to. But can we make this commitment to human welfare as a conscious priority in our thought, word, and deed like our master did? I think the Avatar Declaration Day is an opportunity to reflect on that. I have done a rough calculation and have found that in his physical lifetime, Swami would have given 1 lakh interviews. Prashanti Nilayam, Brindavan, Kodaikanal, several places, Sundaram, Shivam, Dharmakshetra, all of them. And about 20 lakh people Swami would have interacted one-on-one during these occasions. But by and large, most of the conversations were focused on those who came to him seeking solace and succor for the body and its duties, responsibilities, and relationships. Swami would often say, I give you what you want, so that eventually you will want what I have come to give, liberation itself. But probably that desire to know the secret of liberation has not been a priority for most of us. And that is the reason why till the very last decade, Swami would say, Vetukutunnanu, Vetukutunnanu, I'm still searching for a devotee who wants what I have come to give, a true, a genuine devotee. Let me share an example, an experience which communicates what Swami's expectations were from all of us. This goes back to the early 1990s. Professor Sampath, a former director of the Indian Institute of Technology, was the Vice Chancellor of the Sri Satyasai Institute of Higher Learning. During his tenure, on a particular occasion, Swami was very upset with the students. So when Swami used to pretend to be upset, Swami had often said that I cannot get upset, I pretend to be upset so that you learn a lesson from what I want to communicate to you while being upset. And on that particular occasion, Swami was upset for a long time. Students were pleading in different ways and Swami was just not giving in. So the Vice Chancellor, a very nice, warm-hearted gentleman, he approached Swami on behalf of the students and said, Swami, please forgive the students. They love you so much. After all, this is the age and stage in life where you tend to make mistakes and sometimes you don't abide by the discipline. So as a Vice Chancellor and as their teacher, I request you to please forgive them. Swami said in this very important conversation between the Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor about the well-being of their students, Swami said, Sampath, do you know why I am angry with the boys? So Professor Sampath nodded his head in negation and kept quiet. Swami said, I am angry with the boys because they are not able to understand the expectations I have from them. Then Swami asked another question. Do you know what expectations I have from the students? So Professor Sampath again nodded his head. Swami said, with great assertion and anticipation in his eyes, he said, I want each one of my students to be like, he pointed to himself. Being like me does not mean wearing an orange robe and having a black mop of hair. Being like me means being selfless from top to toe, with only priority being well being and love for all humanity, all creation. Instead of cultivating that attitude, instead of developing that mindset, instead of making the most of this opportunity of being in my presence, they are frittering away this opportunity in trivial pursuits instead of making the most of this rarest of the rare opportunities that has come their way. That is why I'm angry with them. What a profound communication of what Swami's expectations are from us. When Swami says, "My life is my message," what does he mean? He just doesn't mean to say that as a slogan, "My life is my message." He means that his life is his message. As much as he has communicated through nearly 5,000 discourses, is important to see what he has done through those 85 years of his life and how he has set an example for us in every aspect of life. And then we don't just need to know, we also need to be like him, especially those of us whom he has chosen as his students, as his devotees. Another example of Swami's selflessness. This was once when Swami was going in a car. As he was getting into the car, a particular Sevadal was on duty. This was one of his first opportunities, and he was extremely excited to have the opportunity of closing the door of Swami's car. And in his excitement, as Swami sat in the car, the Sevadal did not see whether Swami had fully put his foot inside the car. So even before Swami's foot was fully inside the car, the Sevadal closed the door, and the little finger of Swami's foot got stuck in the door. The car moved ahead, it came out, came onto the main road, and then Swami told the driver, "Wait, wait, wait." The driver said, "What happened, Swami?" Swami opened the door, and that's when the driver realized that all that while Swami's small toe was stuck in the door. The driver was shocked. He said, "Swami, why didn't you tell me earlier? I would have stopped the car immediately." In fact, he was very angry at the Sevadal who had pushed the door, and Swami's foot had come, that tiny finger had come in the door, it got jammed in the door. So Swami said, "Bangaru, if I would have told you or shouted at that point in time, or even opened the door to take my foot inside again, that particular Sevadal would have felt so hurt that in that one opportunity that he got in serving me, instead of serving me, he hurt me physically. And that experience would have gnawed at him. It would have remained his anguish for all his life. I could not do that to him because he had so much of love in his heart for me. That is why I bore this pain, so that his love for me and his satisfaction of serving me by closing that door will remain with him forever. He will not know of this." So why I'm telling you this example is when Swami says selfless from top to toe, he shows that by example in the smallest of things. It's not about the construction of the hospitals and the water projects and the universities and the schools and this massive seva organization, which no doubt is quite without a parallel. But it is about these small humane things that we can learn from Swami in his life. What is the message? Forgive and forget. What? Swami used to say, forget all the harm that others have done to you. That will help you cultivate the virtue of forgiveness. And forget all the good that you have done to others. That will help you cultivate the virtue of humility. Two important things to forget. But these are the things we always remember. The harm that others have done to us and the good that we have done to others. Because we want to take revenge and we want to be claiming credit. Swami's formula was reversed, and this was very evident in his life. And then Swami had said two things to remember all the time. He used to say, remember all the harm that you have done to others. That will cultivate the virtue of repentance. And remember all the good that others have done to you, because that will cultivate the virtue of gratitude. These are the two things we often tend to forget. The harm that we have done to others is often justified. He deserves it. She deserves it. And the good that others have done to you is also always forgotten. We think it's our right to get what we got. So in both these scenarios, we have a very important lesson from Swami's life. Two things to forget, two things to remember, and how Swami has shown in his own life how he wants us to be, what he wants us to be. So this, I think, is a very important significance of the Avatar Declaration Day that we need to remember.